Assalamualaikum and very good morning to the Master Chairperson, Honourable Judges, Precise Timekeeper, fellow ministers, opposition members and last but not least, members of the floor. Before I put forward my case today, I would like to define today's motion. This House believes that a law should be introduced as to punish netizens on the act of cyberbullying remarks. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the law means a rule made by the government that is used to order the way a society behaves. Punish is defined as causing someone who has committed a crime or done something wrong. Netizens refer to the users of the internet actively engaged in uncensored online discussion of politics and social issues, and cyberbullying stands for a user of electronic communications bullying a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. In other words, our motion today is defined as why is rule need to be introduced to users of the internet who has done wrong by bullying a person using electronic communications by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. That will be our parameter for today's debate. Ladies and gentlemen, an argument will not be complete without the best. So our case line for today is a law should be introduced as to punish netizens on the act of cyberbullying remarks, because cyberbullying makes people take their own lives. With all that made clear, let me deliver my argument from a mental health perspective. Cyberbullying can lead to many ends. Either it will be positive or another way around. And I will talk about another way around, which is mental illness. American Psychiatric Association state mental illnesses are health conditions involving changes in emotion, thinking or behavior, or a combination of three of them. Mental illnesses are associated with distress or problems functioning in social, works, or family activities. What is the relation between cyberbullying and mental illness? A 15-year-old boy named Joshua became the target of virtual abuse. The cyberbullying was concentrated on his Ask.fm page, a social networking website where users create profiles and can send each other questions. Child safety experts have referred to Ask.fm as a stalker paradise, which give an idea of the kind of shenanigans that go on there. Anonymous users poke fun at Joshua's father, occupation, as well as Joshua's behavior towards women, calling Joshua a farmer and a player. Joshua ended up hanging himself in his parents' garden. According to its Ministry, Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, the Communications and the Multimedia Ministry, he is working on a cabinet document on anti-cyberbullying legislation. While Malaysia has some cybersecurity regulations, he claims that there is no specific legislation dealing with cyberbullying. In contrast, neighboring nations such as Singapore and the Philippines have passed anti-cyberbullying legislation. In a press conference, he remarked, "We better be prepared with rules because things can grow worse on cyberbullying." Cybersecurity Malaysia claimed that the number of recorded incidents of cyberbullying increased tenfold to 569 in 2020. We have received 267 cases of cyberbullying since around July 2021. Well, you may indeed be thinking that this isn't much when compared to the vast country of Malaysia, and you are accurate. The figures appear small, but only when you include the reported cases. According to the Women's Center of Change, the majority of cyberbullying cases are unreported since many victims choose to ignore the harsh remarks. According to a study released by the US Department of Education in 2010, 64% of cyberbullying incidents in the US go unreported. Victims' unreported incidents are left to deal with the situation on their own, and the majority of the abusers roam free, believing their actions are okay. Is this what we are looking for? Victims may experience depression, which may lead to suicide, but what about the bully? As if nothing is wrong, flee as if nothing is wrong. Cyberbullies frequently create many bogus accounts simply to harass someone for enjoyment. According to an article published online by Maryville University, consider what would happen if strict legislation was enacted requiring users to use their real identities and identity on their profiles. If detected, netizens who disobey this legislation will have to pay a substantial fee. As a result, this House strongly purpose that strict cyberbullying rules be enacted, with netizens being punished if they commit criminal acts. Moving on to my second point, make internet a safer place. The globe, including our science and technology, has always been evolving as go by. We are all aware of the use of modern electronics in our daily lives as we live in 21st century, and this includes gadgets. Since the invention of devices, we have been able to surf the internet as we choose, and there is no doubt that the internet has presented us with important knowledge. Unfortunately, it's not always be as perfect as it appears. Although digital devices allow us to interact with each other, they also become a device and medium of cyberbullying. Each individual who utilize the internet to harass or threaten another person is referred to as cyberbully. Even while some countries have cybersecurity laws, there has been a specific statute to deal with cyberbullying. I believe that the internet is a strong community and a place where people freely speak themselves. That is, unfortunately, no longer an excuse for abusing the internet. Internet users must always be responsible and cautious. Anyone has the freedom to voice themselves, but there must be a boundary to how far humanity may go. The web should have been a secure environment for everybody, and people must not feel endangered whenever online. As a result, there must be legislation for cyberbullying in favor of making the internet a safer place and punishing those who disrupt the peace and the lives of the others. Members of the House, it's past time for us to accept that our government's present effort to combat cyberbullying is missing a critical piece of puzzle. And I'm also confident that individuals of the audience are aware of what it is. We have done a lot to address cyberbullying, but it will always be useless unless specific laws are enacted to punish cyberbullies, particularly young children who account for the majority of cyberbullying instances. With it, I reaffirm our motion that a law should be introduced to punish netizens for the act of cyberbullying remarks. Thank you very much.